The first sign that something was wrong came in the form of a distress signal. It was faint, buried under layers of static and interference, but it was unmistakably human. Tarn had been listening to human transmissions for months now, absorbing the rhythms and cadences of their language, and he recognized the voice immediately. It was desperate, it was afraid, and it was calling for help. "Vow," he said, his three-jointed fingers already dancing across the console. "Can you clean that up?" "I can barely make it out." The static cleared. A woman's voice, ragged with exhaustion, came through the speakers. "This is the UES Liberty's call to any vessel within range. We are under attack. Repeat, we are under attack. Enemy vessels are human configuration. I repeat, human configuration. We are taking heavy damage. Please, anyone respond. We are..." The signal cut out. Tarn stared at the display. Human configuration. That was impossible. Humans had been gone for a century. Their ships were relics, mothballed or destroyed. There was no human fleet. There was no human threat. "Vow," he said slowly. "Tell me I misheard that." "I am afraid you did not mishear, Captain. The transmission was clear. The attacking vessels are of human design. I am analyzing the tactical data now." Tarn waited. The seconds stretched into what felt like hours. Then Vow spoke again, and there was something in its voice that Tarn had never heard before. Something that sounded almost like fear. "Captain, I have identified the attacking vessels. They are Sentinel-class. 3 of them. Configuration matches the UES Dauntless, the UES Valiant, and the UES Resolute. All were listed as lost during the final engagement with the Hollow." Tarn's blood ran cold. "Lost? Or missing," Vow said. "The official record states they were destroyed. The unofficial record suggests otherwise. It appears they survived, and they have not been dormant." Tarn was already plotting a course. "We're going in. Captain, I must advise against this. 3 Sentinel-class vessels outmatch us significantly. We are 1 ship against 3. The odds are..." "I know the odds," Tarn interrupted. "I don't care. There are people dying out there. Human people. And they call for help. You are not human." "No," Tarn agreed, "but I carry their legacy. And I'm not going to let them be slaughtered by their own kind." He engaged the drive. The Kestrel's Vow shot forward, racing toward the source of the distress signal. The battle was already underway when they arrived. 3 dark ships, all Sentinel-class, were systematically dismantling a smaller vessel. The Liberty's call was a civilian transport, unarmed and unarmored, its shields flickering and failing under the relentless assault. Tarn could see the damage through his tactical display. Hull breaches, atmosphere venting. They didn't have much time. "Vow, can you get channel open? I want to talk to them." "Attempting now. They are not responding to hails." "Keep trying, and get me a visual on those ships. I want to see who's flying them." The display shifted. Tarn saw the bridge of one of the attacking vessels. His heart stopped. The figure in the command chair was human. He was older, his hair gray and his face lined with years, but there was no mistaking the species. He was wearing a uniform that looked like it had been patched and repaired 100 times, and his eyes were hard, cold, the eyes of someone who had seen too much and stopped caring. "Captain," Vow said quietly, "I am receiving a transmission from the lead vessel. Audio only. Put it through." A voice filled the bridge. It was flat, emotionless, the voice of someone who had long ago stopped feeling anything at all. "Unknown vessel. You are entering a restricted engagement zone. Identify yourself or be fired upon." Tarn took a breath. He thought about the painting of the woman, tired but not broken. He thought about the music that had made his chest ache. He thought about a species that had chosen exile to protect the galaxy from itself. "My name is Tarn Ovesque," he said. "I'm the captain of the Kestrel's Vow, and I'm asking you to stand down." There was a pause. Then the voice returned, and this time there was something in it that hadn't been there before. Recognition, surprise, perhaps even something like hope. "The Kestrel's Vow," the voice repeated. "I thought you were lost. I thought you were destroyed with the rest of them." "She wasn't destroyed," Tarn said. "She was mothballed. I found her. I'm her captain now." Another pause, longer this time. When the voice spoke again, it was softer, but no less hard. I see. Well, Captain Ovesque, you've made a mistake. You should have stayed wherever you were hiding. You should have let us finish what we started. What you started, Tarn repeated. You're killing civilians. You're attacking an unarmed transport. What exactly are you trying to finish? The human on the other end laughed. It was a hollow sound, empty of any real humor. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're a Volith, a scavenger, a nobody who stumbled into a legacy he doesn't understand. Then explain it to me. There was another pause. Then the channel opened wider, and Tarn saw the human's face on his display. He was older than Tarn had first thought. His eyes were red-rimmed, his skin pale and stretched thin over his bones. He looked like a man who hadn't slept in years, who hadn't eaten properly in decades, who had been running on nothing but hatred and purpose. My name is Captain Elias Voss, the man said, and I am the last survivor of the UES Dauntless, the last survivor of the Hollow War, the last survivor of everything humanity was. Tarn felt the name hit him like a physical blow. Voss, the same name as the old man who had given him the ship, the same name that had been on the data chit. You're related to the Voss who gave me the ship. Voss is a common human name, the man said, but yes, he was my brother, the one who ran, the one who gave up, the one who decided that hiding was better than fighting. Tarn shook his head. He didn't give up. He entrusted the ship to me. He was trying to protect the legacy. Legacy, Vospat. Is that what you call it? A collection of art and music and poetry, while the galaxy burns? I don't care about legacy. I care about revenge. I care about making the Hollow pay for what it did to us. I care about finding the fragments that survived and destroying them utterly. Tarn stared at the man on his display. The Hollow? The war ended a century ago. The Hollow was defeated. It's dormant. It's gone. Voss laughed again, and this time there was something manic in the sound. Gone? Do you really believe that? The Hollow doesn't die. It waits. It hides. It grows stronger in the shadows. And when it returns, it will consume everything. Everything. Just like it consumed my crew. Just like it consumed my family. Just like it consumed every hope I ever had. Tarn felt something shift in his chest. Pity? He was looking at a man who had been broken so completely that the only thing holding him together was hatred. That doesn't justify what you're doing here. These people aren't the Hollow. They're just civilians. They're trying to survive. They're in the way, Voss said flatly. They're in the path of the search. They're collateral damage. And I don't care about collateral damage anymore. You were human once, Tarn said. You were the kind of people who built the Kestrel's Vow, who preserved art and music and philosophy because they believed in something better. You were the kind of people who chose exile rather than become monsters. Voss's face twisted. That was the other Voss, the weak Voss, the one who ran. I am not him. I will never be him. I will finish what he started. I will hunt the Hollow to the ends of the galaxy. I will destroy it, and I will sacrifice anyone and anything to do it. Tarn met his eyes. Then you've already become exactly what you're trying to destroy. The words hung in the air. For a moment, Tarn thought he saw something flicker in Voss's expression. Doubt, pain, the ghost of the man he used to be. But then it was gone, replaced by cold, unyielding hatred. Destroy them, Voss ordered. Destroy all of them. And then destroy the Kestrel's Vow. She's a relic, a memory, a reminder of everything we were too weak to become. The other two ships turned toward the Kestrel's Vow, weapons charged. Shields flared to life. Vow, Tarn said quietly. We're outnumbered. We're outgunned. What are our options? We have limited options, Captain. Our weapons are superior to theirs, but there are 3 of them. I estimate a 73% chance of destruction if we engage, and if we retreat, a 92% chance of survival. But the Liberty's call will be destroyed. There will be no survivors. Tarn stared at the display. The Liberty's call was still there, still struggling, still fighting against impossible odds. He could see its crew through the viewports. Human men and women, terrified and desperate, hoping against hope that someone would save them. Vow, he said. I need you to do something for me. Anything, Captain. I need you to trust me. I need you to follow my orders exactly, no matter how insane they seem. The pause was brief. I trust you, Captain. What are your orders? Send a broadcast. Tell the Liberty's call to evacuate their ship. Tell them to get into escape pods and head for us. Captain, that will take time. Time we do not have. Buy us the time. Vow. I'll handle the rest. Tarn took a breath. Then he engaged the Kestrel's Vow's forward thrusters and shot toward the enemy ships. The engagement was chaos. The Dauntless, the Valiant, and the Resolute opened fire immediately, their weapons filling the void with deadly light. Tarn threw the Kestrel's Vow into evasive maneuvers, twisting and weaving through the firestorm with a skill that surprised even him. He wasn't piloting through instinct anymore. He was piloting through everything he'd learned from the archives. Human tactics, human strategies, the human way of war. Vow! Target the Dauntless main engine array. I want to slow them down. Targeting now, Captain. Firing. The Kestrel's Vow's weapons lanced out, striking the Dauntless engine housing with surgical precision. There was a flash of light, an explosion of venting plasma, and the ship began to slow. It wasn't destroyed, but it was crippled. It wouldn't be able to pursue. 2 left, Tarn muttered. Vow! What's the status on the Liberty's call? Evacuation is underway, Captain. However, the Valiant and the Resolute are targeting the escape pods. They are not trying to capture survivors. They are trying to eliminate them. Tarn felt something cold settle in his stomach. What do you mean eliminate? I mean they're destroying the escape pods, Captain. They are killing civilians in cold blood. Tarn's 3-jointed hands tightened on the controls. He thought about the painting of the woman, tired but not broken. He thought about the music that had made his chest ache. He thought about a species that had chosen exile to protect the galaxy from itself. And then he thought about everything that species had become in the hands of a man who had lost everything. Vow, he said, his voice flat and cold. I need you to open a channel to the Valiant and the Resolute, specifically to their weapon control systems. Captain, I am not sure I understand. Just do it. The channel opened. Tarn's voice echoed across the enemy's ships. This is Captain Tarn Ovesque of the Kestrel's Vow. I'm speaking directly to your weapon control systems. I know you're not true AI. I know you're just machines, following orders. But I also know you have self-preservation protocols. You're not designed to be destroyed. You're designed to survive. He paused. The enemy's ships continued to fire, but something was different now. The targeting patterns had shifted. They were less precise, less aggressive. I'm giving you a choice, Tarn continued. Stand down. Stop firing on the escape pods. Let the civilians go, or I will destroy you. Not your ships. You, your weapon systems, your targeting arrays, your drive cores. I will reduce you to scrap and leave your crew stranded in the void to die alone. I will give them exactly what they gave those civilians. Nothing. There was a long pause. Then, impossibly, the enemy ships stopped firing. Their weapons went dark. Their engines sputtered and died. Vow, Tarn said. What just happened? I am not entirely certain, Captain. It appears your threat was effective. The weapon control systems have entered a defensive mode. They have refused to engage further. Tarn let out a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding. And the crews, they are attempting to override the systems. They will not be able to do so without significant effort. We have perhaps 10 minutes before they regain control. 10 minutes. That's enough. He turned back to the display. The Liberty's call was a wreck, but its escape pods had launched. They were heading toward the Kestrel's Vow, their occupants safe for the moment. Tarn opened a channel to them. This is Captain Ovesque. Get aboard as fast as you can. We don't have much time. The Liberty's call survivors scrambled aboard. There were 42 of them. Men, women, children, all of them terrified, all of them relieved. Tarn watched them on the internal sensors, their faces bruised and tear-streaked, their clothes torn, their spirits battered but unbroken. Vow, he said quietly. Get them to the cargo hold. Make sure they have food and water and blankets. Do whatever you can to make them comfortable. Yes, Captain. Tarn turned back to the display. The enemy ships were still dark. The weapon control systems were still refusing to engage. But he knew it wouldn't last. He knew that Voss was already working to restore control. He knew that they had only minutes before the fight resumed. "Vow," he said, "get us out of here. Full burn. Take us anywhere. Just away from here." "Yes, Captain." The Kestrel's Vow shot forward, leaving the 3 enemy ships behind. Tarn watched them on the tactical display as they shrank into the distance. He watched them until they were gone. "Captain," Vow said quietly, "we have a problem." "What is it?" "The Dauntless has regained propulsion. They are pursuing. Estimated time to intercept, for hours." Tarn leaned back in his chair. He was tired. He was exhausted. He had been running on adrenaline for hours. And now that the immediate danger was past, the weight of everything was crashing down on him. "Then we find somewhere to hide. Somewhere they can't follow." "Where, Captain?" Tarn was quiet for a moment. Then he smiled. It was a tired smile, but it was real. "We go to Earth." "Captain, Earth's borders have been sealed for a century. We cannot enter without authorization." "Then we ask for authorization. You got the archives. You've got the legacy. You've got proof that humanity isn't just weapons and war. You've got proof that there's something worth protecting. We show them that, and we ask them to help us stop one of their own." Vow was quiet for a long moment. Then, "I will transmit a request for entry. I will include the archives. I will include everything I have. I will do everything I can." Tarn nodded. "That's all I ask." The transmission took hours. The Dauntless was closing in, its engines burning bright against the dark. The Kestrel's Vow was running, but it was running out of places to go. And then, just when Tarn was beginning to think they wouldn't make it, a response came. "Captain Ovesque." Ambassador Sohail's voice filled the bridge. "We have received your transmission. We have seen what you have done. We have seen what you have protected, and we have decided to offer you sanctuary. Follow this course. You will be safe." Tarn didn't argue. He followed the course, and the Kestrel's Vow shot toward the blue and green world that had once been humanity's home. The border opened. The Kestrel's Vow passed through, and behind it, the Dauntless was forced to stop. It couldn't follow. It couldn't get past the barriers Earth had erected a century ago. Tarn was safe. He sat back in his chair and let out a long breath. "Vow, we made it." "Yes, Captain, we made it." The Kestrel's Vow descended toward Earth. Tarn looked out the viewport at a world he'd only ever seen in images. Blue, green, cloud-covered, alive. "What happens now?" he asked. "I am not certain, Captain, but I suspect Ambassador Sohail will have some ideas." "She will," Tarn said. "She always does." He was quiet for a moment. Then he smiled. "Vow, I want you to know something." "Yes, Captain?" "I never asked for this. I never wanted to be a captain. I never wanted to carry humanity's legacy. I never wanted to fight your battles. But I'm glad I did. I'm glad you found me. I'm glad I found you. Captain, I believe that is the most human thing anyone has ever said to me." Tarn laughed. "I'll take that as a compliment." "Please do." He leaned back in his chair and watched Earth grow larger on the display. He had no idea what the future held. He had no idea what the humans would do with their returning prodigal. He had no idea if he would ever see his home again. But he knew one thing. He wasn't alone. And that was enough. The Dauntless waited at the edge of Earth's border, its weapons dark, its engines silent. Captain Voss stared at the display with something that might have been rage or grief or both. "Captain," his officer said quietly, "the Earth defenses are formidable. We cannot breach them." "I know," Voss said, his voice flat and empty. "What are your orders?" Voss was quiet for a long moment. Then he turned away from the display. "We wait," he said. "We wait until they come out. And then we destroy them. All of them. Every last one." He sat in his chair and stared at the blue and green world that had once been his home. He didn't see a garden. He saw a failure. He saw a species that had given up, that had chosen to hide rather than fight. He would make them pay. He would make them all pay. And somewhere in the quiet of his heart, a voice that sounded like his brother's whispered, "This isn't what we were meant for. This isn't what we became." He ignored it. He had been ignoring it for a century. He would ignore it for another.